Parāśara Bhaṭṭa in his Bhagavad Guna Darpanam says the essence of VishnuSahasranamam in 6 unique characteristic features. So I will describe those features, what he has given, before which he has offered some invocatory verses to the Lord of Sri Rangam, his family deity, Ranganatha Swami. Second, he has offered his salutations to all the Purvacharyas, like the divine couple, Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana, Vishwaksena, the mystic saint Shatakopa or Nammalvar, later Ranganatha Muni, who was called Natha Muni, later his grand student Yamuna Muni or Alavandar or Yamunacharya, later his grand disciple, the very world celebrated and acclaimed Bhagavad Ramanujacharya, his student Srivatsanka or Kuresha, who is his own very Acharya, as well as Yambar, Govinda Yati, who was also his Acharya. So he offers the salutations. I will read those shlokas just for our understanding. Vande Govinda Tatau Munimatha Manavai Lakshmanaryam Mahantam Dhyayeyam Yamunaryam Mama Hriditanavai Ramameva Abhiyamam Padmaksham Prekshishya Prathamapi Munim Nathamide Shatarim Staumi Preksheya Lakshmim Sharanama Sharanaha Sridharam Samshrayeyam. So he says, I offer my salutations to the entire Pankti chain of Acharyas. Then he says, what does this VishnuSahasranama do? He says the set of 1,000 names can help the Jivatma in the Panchabhautika Shariram, in this world, eradicate all the sins committed in the Kali Yugam. So he says, Samsaro yama pandito bhagavati prageva bhuyak kalau. So he says in Kali Yugam, if I call one interested person and say, don't worry sir, just read the 4 Vedas, the 4 divisions in each of the Vedas, read the 6 Angas, read the Upangas, read the 2 Itihasas, read the 18 Puranas, read the Agama Shastras, read Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Arthaveda, read the commentaries of our Purvacharyas. After this, if you have studied, you have time, you come to me. When will he complete in this Janmam? No, not possible. So instead of giving him a huge set of library, Parāśara Bhaṭṭa says the set of 1,000 names is the easiest. So he says, Samsaro yama pandito bhagavati prageva bhuyak kalau purnam manyatame jane shruti giro guhyam bruve sahasat tatra stotramidam prakashayati yaha stutyascha yastavubhau vyasa karuniko harischatadidam maurkhyam saheta mama. After offering his stotram of praising Sri VishnuSahasranamam, he offers his salutations to Vyasacharya. He says, Arthe harau tadabhidayini nama varge tadyanchake maicha bandha visesha metya sevadhya metadamritam pranipatyaya che madhyasthamat sarijana ihama cha bhuvan. So this Vishnu Sahasranama is the compilation of all these names, he says. Now, I have said what the commentator has said. Now I promised you that I will speak about the 6 unique characteristics, what Parāśara Bhaṭṭa talks about. Remember these 6 characteristics. Mahabharata Saratvat, Rishibhiv Pariganataha, Vedacharya Samaharat, Bhīṣmotkrishta Matatvataha, Jagathitati Gita Taikarthataschanaha. So these are the 6 unique characteristic features of Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. I will take you through each one of them. Though you may find it slightly boring, I will be reading out the Sanskrit commentary so that at least we are able to, we may not understand, we may not have the time to read it once again. At least for the sake of this course, you can listen to these verses and then I will go into the English explanation. I agree, English is the common language that we all can understand. But what is the harm in listening to the Sanskrit lines? So I am taking advantage of it. The first characteristic feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam is Mahabharata Saratvat. This is the essence of Mahabharatam. So to explain this point, the commentator gives a huge explanation. I will give you that. Mahabharatotkarsha samarthana purvakam Mahabharata Saratvat kathanam Mahabharatam hi parigraha visesha vasita viplava vachana saushtyavadhyatmakakat iti cha Puraneshu tavat vayuv prokta shaivayoho. So the commentator says, I have said that VishnuSahasranamam is the essence of Mahabharatam. How will I prove it? For that I have to say what Mahabharatam is. He says in Vayu Puranam and Shiva Puranam, Vayu Prokta Shaivayoho, in both the Puranas there is a shlokam that is found. Mati manthanam avidya yena adau shruti sagarat jagat hitaya janitaha Mahabharata Chandrama. So he says, with his mind as a churning rod, Mati manthanam avidya. Mati is that churning rod. With his mind, he has started churning. Mati manthanam avidya, this ocean of Vedas, yenadau shruti sagarat, Vedic ocean. What rose? See, when the ocean was churned, Chandra emerged. Here he says, Jagat hitaya janitaha, for the sake of the welfare of this people in this world, Mahabharata Chandrama. Mahabharata, called the moon, rose from the churning of the Vedic ocean with Vyasacharya's intellect. So next he says, Bhavishyat Purane Bibheti Gahanat Shastran Narastīvrādi Vaushadhat Bharataha Shastra Saroyam Ataha Kavyatmana Kritaha. So this is a beautiful work, a poetic work, even a common man can understand. He doesn't have to misinterpret, overinterpret or come with wrong meanings. It is such a beautiful work. Says Bhavishyat Puranam. Then he continues, Matsye. Matsye means Matsya Puranam says, Yasya Dvaipayanaha Putraha Swayam Vishnu Rajayata. Sakshat Vishnu is Vyasa. Prakasho Janito Yena Mahabharata Chandrama. Like how from Vishnu's manas, mind, came Chandra, Chandrama, Manaso Jataha. Similarly, when Vishnu was born as Vyasa, from his heart came another Chandra, which is Mahabharata. Vaishnave. Vaishnave means Vishnu Puranam says, Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhi Narayanam Prabhum Kohyanyo Bhuvi Maitreya Mahabharata Krit Bhavet. There was this 20-year-old Acharya, 80-year-old Sishya. The 20-year-old Acharya was none but Parāśara Maharshi. 80-year-old student was none but Maitreya. To his student Maitreya, the father praises, Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhi Narayanam Prabhum Kokhanyo Bhuvi Maitreya Mahabharata Krit Bhavet. Hey Maitreya, who in this world has the caliber or the valor and the courage and the dedication to come up with a work like Mahabharata, but my son Krishna Dvaipayana or Veda Vyasa. Generally, Shastram tells, father should never praise his own children. Others should praise. Your son is like this, your daughter is like that. Father should not keep praising. Others should praise. When others don't praise, fathers have no options. They have to keep praising their children. So, Shastram tells, Pratyakshe Guravastutyat, Acharya alone is the one who is to be praised. Son, daughter, just keep quiet. Whereas if the very well-known Parāśara Maharshi says, my son Vedavyasa, imagine what would have been the caliber of Vedavyasa to get a praise or a testimonial from his very own father. So he says, Mahabharata Krit Bhavet. Mahabharata is such a great work. Markandeya Puranam says, Vyasavakya Jalaughena Kudharma Taruharina Veda Shailavatirnena Nirajaska Mahikrita. So the words of Vyasa, which is Mahabharata, starts from Veda Shailavatirnena, from the mountain of Vedas, and when it comes as a river with great force, it has uprooted the tree of unrighteousness. Kudharma taruharina. So it has taken away. So Mahabharata is that river which can take away adharma. He continues. Ityadibihi swasminscha yo vidyas chaturo vedan sangopa nishadana dvijaha na chakyanam idam vidya nevasasyad vichakshanaha ityadibhisch parassahasrair vachanaihi prashasya manatvat. So Shastram tells, let's assume you are a person who's a chaturvedi. All four Vedas you know. You know all the 6 angams, you know the upangams, you know everything. But you have not heard of Mahabharatam and you have not studied Mahabharatam. Still you are treated as an uneducated, illiterate person, it seems. Then he says, Yadihasti tadanyatra yannehasti natat kvachit. What is the greatness of Mahabharata? What is found here can be found elsewhere. What is not found here cannot be found elsewhere. This is one meaning. Yadi hasti tadanyatra yanne hasti na tatat kvachit. What is found here can be found elsewhere. What is not found here cannot be found elsewhere. The other way to interpret is, what is found here cannot be found elsewhere. What is not found here cannot be found elsewhere. So in either ways, it is only Mahabharata which is our final resort. So he says, iti laukika vaidika sakalartha nirnayadhikritattvena kaschidapyakshapta vistvacha puranebhyo balavattaram bahavod-buddhi shalinodhyasa vasussuta trapi swahridaya bhrite anushasanike parvani dana dharmeshu samasta shastrarthe निष्कृत्य निगम्यमाने सारसंग्रह रूपेण स्लवय संग्रह नाम्ना अध्यायो अवतारितः तस्मात् प्राणाम्य कारण प्रकर्षणेन तत्वार्थ तात्पर्यलिंगे प्रामाण्य प्रशंस्याद्यन्य परत्व शंकयोः सुदूर निरत्वेन परम प्रकृष्टार्थ प्रतिपादकत्वाच्च अभ्युदनि निश्रेयसः सार्थिनाम् अयमेपोद उपादेय तमः. So he says that this work of Mahabharata offers no ambiguity in telling who is the Parabrahman. So that Parabrahman which has been described in Mahabharata has been beautifully put forth in VishnuSahasranamam. Thereby Mahabharata's essence is VishnuSahasranamam. Mahabharata Saratvat is the first quality of Sri VishnuSahasranamam. Now, how do I prove this? I will just give you one example, one name which is found in VishnuSahasranamam. For that, I will take up this particular portion. Vasureta Vasufpradaha Vasuprado Vasudevo Vasur Vasumana Havihi Sadgatihi Satkriti Satta Sadbhuti Satparayanaha Shuraseno Yudhistra Sannivasa Suyamunaha Bhuta Vaso Vasudeva Sarvasu Nilayo Nalaha. Sarvasu Nilayo Nalaha. So here there is a nama called as Analaha. What does Analaha mean? This is the name of the Lord, right? In the 1,000 names, there is a name of the Lord called Analaha. What does Analaha mean? So I told you the first quality of VishnuSahasranamam is it is the essence or extract of Mahabharatam. What is the extract of Mahabharatam? Extract of Mahabharatam can be explained like this. Who is the male lead protagonist of Mahabharatam? Some say Bhīma. Some say Arjuna, some say Karna, some say Yudhiṣtira. Undoubtedly, there is only one, who is Krishna. Lord Krishna is the male protagonist of Mahabharata. Generally, in any work, even the novel that you read, the male lead, if there is one person, the female lead will be another person, and the relationship between the two will be that of lovers or husband and wife. But here, interestingly, the female lead is Draupadi. She was called Krishna. Yatra Krishnauscha Krishnascha Satyabhamacha Bhamini. So that Krishna called Draupadi or Panchali or Yajñaseni is the female lead. But interestingly, the relationship between the male lead and female lead, Krishna and Krishna, is not that of husband and wife. They were the thickest of friends, the best of friends. Then the third is, of course, Krishna Dvaipayana, who is the umpire-like person. He is Vedavyasa. So we have Krishna, Lord Krishna. Second is Draupadi, who is Krishna. Third is Vedavyasa, who is Krishna Dvaipayana. So it is a book written by black people, for black people, on black people. So we have never been racist in this world. All our heroes and heroines have been black. So the point here is, if these three people are important, at the end of his avataram in Dwapara Yugam, Krishna called his friend Uddhava and said, Uddhava, I think my avataram is coming to a close. Uddhava asked, are you happy with the avataram? Have you achieved what you wanted? Krishna said, see, I achieved what I wanted, but I still have one thing which has been nagging me, one thing which has been troubling me, that worry. What? Asked Uddhava. So that time Krishna says, I am now a borrower. I have a loan that is to be cleared, but I am not able to clear it. What is that loan? Krishna asked Uddhava. Rinam pravruddhamiva me hridayannapi sarpati. So he says, see, when in the middle of the sabha, in the court, when Draupadi was in her menstruation periods, Dushasana, despite knowing that she is his sister-in-law, a lady to be worshipped, caught her by her hair and pulled her along the corridors of Hastinapura. Her blood, menstrual blood, was strewn on the floor. Not one of the 5 Pandavas came out of their clutches to help her. Nor Bhīṣma, nor Drona, nor Kripa came and helped her. When she asked for help, nobody came. That time she believed in me and she said, Dhyeyasada Savitrimandala Madhyavarti Narayana Sarasijasana Sannivishtaha Keyuravan Makarakundalavan Kiriti Hari Hiranmaya Vapuhu Dhritashanka Chakraha Dwaraka Nilayachuta Govinda Pundarikaksha Rakshamam Sharanagatam. When she raised her hands, Uddhava, I remember that I delayed helping her by a few minutes. I should have been there that moment, but I delayed it by a few minutes. Till date, I am repenting why I delayed. This is the worry that has been troubling me. So, the Nama is Analaha, correct in VishnuSahasranamam. You know what does the commentator state? Swabhakta Vishayaparadham Sodhum Nalamiti Ya Yathaha Analaha. So, the Lord is the one who, in the case of his devotees, feels very worried that I should be doing more to my devotees. We think he is ruthless and heartless, but he feels, I should be doing more to him. Poor people are suffering in this pandemic. What should I do? How will I arrange? More than us, more than our government, more than the people we know in our administration, it is the Lord who thinks about for us. So he is the one who thinks is more worried for us. The one who is more worried for his children is called Analaha. So Mahabharata Saratva is the first characteristic feature of VishnuSahasranamam, and that Saram is seen in this name. I will take you to the next characteristic feature of VishnuSahasranamam. What were the 6 ones? Mahabharata Saratvat, Rishibhih Pariganataha, Vedacharya Samaharat, Bhishmotkrishna Matatvataha, Jagathitati Gita Taikarthakaschanaha. These are the 6 qualities. The second one, Sahasranāmadhyāyasya Rishibihi Parigītata. All the names in Sahasranamam have been revered and sung by Maharishis. So that is why we say Rishibhih Parigītāni Tāni Vakshyāmi Bhūtaye. The names that have been revered and selected by Rishis has been compiled into 1,000. Many of you will have a question. Sir, my name I saw is not coming in Sahasranamam. What do I do? Shall I change my name? Then the entire world will have to end up changing name because there are only 1,000 names then. No. Every name in this world refers to the Lord. Remember, I will go one step forward. You'll all be surprised. Any name in this world refers to the Lord. Somebody asked me while I was telling this, Sir, Osama? Yes, it will refer to the Lord's name. See, what has the person and the person's name got to do with the Lord? See, for example, if the Lord's name is Ram and my name is named Ram after him, and I perform bad activities, will my name become bad? So you should be very vigilant. All the names in this world will denote only the Lord. It is not only Sanskrit names will denote the Lord. Tamil names, Telugu names, Hindi names, Nepali names, Chinese names, every name has to denote the Lord. So that means why can I not have a Chinese name for my child? That is your wish. It's a democratic country. You can have whatever name you want. You can also call the child with no name also. That is your wish. But why do we keep certain names again and again? Because our Purvacharyas have believed in those names. That's all. It is not to say that the other names, Arabic names, Iranian names, they are all bad. No. All names are good and all the names denote one Lord. But we keep names time and again so that we know this is the language we speak. For example, a person in the deepest, remotest villages of Tamil Nadu may not have heard of VishnuSahasranamam. He will call his son Kannan. Kannu in Tamil means eye. Kannan means the one who is as close as one's eye. So Krishna was called Kannan in the Tamil language. So he has given a Tamil name. Why will he give an Arabic name from Saudi Arabia here? Now, for example, a person in Saudi Arabia, why will he think of this name? Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu from Sahasranamam, why will he give? He will give that name. But whichever name denotes the Lord only. Now, in that case, if all names are there in this world, why should I select 1,000 names only? Because there are so many songs in this world. But iTunes will say top 10 songs of this week, top 10 songs of this month. We used to have those programs in our Doordarshan also, right? Top 10 songs of this week. Similarly, there are so many names of the Lord. Our Maharishis have said these set of 1,000 names are good. They didn't say other names are bad. They said these names are good. So the rishis have compiled these 1,000 names. That is the second quality of VishnuSahasranamam. It is not my choice or your choice or public voting. Rishis have compiled. So Rishibhif Pariganataha, Rishibhif Parigitani Ityetad Vivarana Vasara Evaisha Heturupaya Dipyate. So how do I understand this? There is this portion. Parardhiv paramaspashtaha tushtaf pushta shubhekshanaha Ramo viramo virato margo neyo nayo nayaha. The Lord's name is Ramaha. Very common name. Who gave this nama to the Lord? Vasishtha gave the nama to the Lord. So he said Ramaha. So he's got all the lakshanams. What are the characteristic features of Ramanama? So there is this shloka. Yascharamam na pashyetu yancharamo na pashyati. Ninditasya vaselloke swatmapyenam vigahyate. So it says that Yascharamam na pashyetu. In those days there used to be a saying, it seems. The one who has not been seen by Rama, or the one who has not seen Rama. So if I have not seen Rama or I have not been seen by him, it seems the world will curse that person. Ninditasya vaseloke. So how was Rama? Ramayati iti Rama. He was very handsome to look at. Chandrakantananam Ramam Ativa Priyadarshanam Rupa Audarya Gunaihi Pumsam Drishtichitta Apaharinam. So by his very looks, by his qualities, he will steal our hearts and steal our eyes. So through his looks, he will steal our eyes. Through his qualities, he will steal our hearts and mind. So Ramo Ramayatam Sreshtha Gunabhiramam Ramam Cha Shyamo Yuva Lohitakshaha Matanganama Parvataha. The way he walks will be like Mattama Tangagaminam, like the gait of an elephant. So this Ramanama was given by whom? Vasishtha. Who is Vasishtha? Maharishi. Rishibhif Parigitani. So if Rama is the name in VishnuSahasranamam, that name has been given by a Maharishi called Vasishtha. Likewise, each name in Sahasranamam has been given by one Maharishi. We don't have the list. Few names I know. Many names we don't know. But all these names which have been told by generations, Bhīṣmacharya compiled and gave it to Yudhiṣtira. So that is the second quality. So Mahabharata Saratvat Rishibhif Pariganataha. Third one. Vedacharya Samahara. The one who compiled the Vedam. See, he did not design the Vedam. There were certain mantras in a certain format called as Rik. Certain in prose. Certain could be sung in Samaganam. So he distributed each of them. Since he did the distribution work, Vyasam, for Veda, he is called Veda Vyasa. So here he says, Aneka Rishigita Bhagavan Namna Apta Vyasenaitat Stotra Rupa Samaharaha. Krishna Dvaipayanaha Parama Aptatamaha. The best friend for us all is Krishna Dvaipayana or Veda Vyasa, it seems. Why? Bhagavan Narayana Avatarena Niratishaya Jnanaishwaryadi Kalyana Gunakataya Nirasta Samasta Vipralambadi Dosha Sambhavanatya Kalibala Mandadikara Amanushyanugraha Vyasta Samasta Vedatvat Vedartayos Tattvanushthanayor Jnana Samshaya Viparyaya Parijihirshaya Pranita Panchama Vedatvat Svachanena Kshatriyam Vishwamitram Brahmani Kritavato Bhagavato Vasishthasya Naptrutvat. So who is Vedavyasa? He is the Sakshat Avatara, Aveshya Avatara of the Lord. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. What is special about him? He is the one who is a repository of all auspicious qualities. Samasta Kalyana Gunatmakaha. He must have some mistakes? No. Samasta Vastu Vilakshana, he has no. Akhila Heya Pratyanikatanaha, he has got no mistakes. What are his achievements? He says, Vasishthasya Naptrutvat. Vasishtha was the Acharya for Rama. That Vasishtha's great-grandson is Vedavyasa. First quality. Vasishtha Pulastya Varapradana Labdha Devata Paramarthya Jnana Purana Saṃhitā Kartritvādi Vishaya Varatishayavattaya Laingadishvapi Puraneshu Prasiddhasya Bhagavataha Parāśarasya Apatyatvat. Now, Shakti Maharishi was a great person, but he died very young. Shakti's son was Parāśara. What was Parāśara's greatness? Vasishtha Pulastya Varapradana Labdha Devata Paramarthya Jnanam. To understand amongst the deities who is that Devata, Paradevata, beyond whom there is none. That Jnanam to Parāśara, that is Vasishtha's grandson or Shakti's son, was granted by Vasishtha and Pulastya. That Parāśara gave us many Puranas. Famous amongst them is Vishnu Puranam and Linga Puranam. In those, Parāśara has been mentioned. That Parāśara's son. Next he says, Ananya Sadharana Tapaha Samadhi Visesheshvasesha Paramarishi Paripudyattvacha Evam Vidhena Anena Rishibihi Gītānām Eva Bhagavan Namna Mantra iti Stotra Rupena Samahritatvayacha Upadeya Tamaha. So he is the best amongst all acharyas, for he also comes in the lineage of these great Maharishis. At the same time, he has compiled all these names together. So, the greatness of Vedavyasa has been mentioned. Now, where do we find Vedavyasa and VishnuSahasranamam? I'll read out a portion. Drabina Pradaha Divasprik Sarva Drikvyaso Vachas Patirayo Nijaha Trisama Samagassama Nirvanam Bheshajam Bhishak Sanyasakritchamashanto. These are the portions. There we say the word Divisprik Sarvadrikvyaso Vachaspatihi. What does Vachaspatihi mean? Vachaspati, generally we denote a person who is very eloquent, a good speaker. But here, Parāśara in Bhagavad Guna Darpanam says, Panchama Veda Rupayaha Vachaha Swami. The one who is the Lord of eloquence, great speech. Panchama Veda Rupayaha Vachaha Swami. So, Sayeva Panchama Veda Rupaya Vacho Aratyaha Patihi Swami Iti. So the one who has given us the fifth Veda, called as Mahabharata, is the person who has been mentioned here. So Vachaspati, this is the third quality. Mahabharata Saratvat, essence of Mahabharatam. Rishivih Parigarataha has been sung by all the Maharishis. Vedacharya Samaharat has been compiled and put together by Vedavyasa or Vedacharya or Krishna Dvaipayana. Fourth one. Bhīṣmot Krishna Matatvataha. It has been recited by Bheeshma himself. What does Bheeshma's greatness have to do here? We'll read about Bheeshma's greatness here. Bhīṣmo pihi pratyayitamaha tathahi rajadharmeshu dharmarajaya bhagavata vyasena. By Vyasa's recommendation to Yudhiṣtira to learn dharmashastram from Yudhiṣtira, from Bheeshma, he says, Shrotumichasi ched dharmana nikhilena naradhipa prehi Bheeshmam mahabaho vruddham kuru pitamaham. The one who comes in Kuru Vamsha, who's called Bheeshma, Mahabaho, the very valorous one. Hey, you, the interested one, go learn the dharmashastram from him. Sate sarva rahasyeshu samshayan manasi sthitan Cheta Bhagiratif Putraha Sarvagnaha Sarva Tattvavit Saksha Dadarsha Yodevan Sarvan Shakra Purogaman Ityado Yasya Brahma Rishayaha Punya Nityama San Sadaha. So he says, if you want to learn Dharmashastram purely, learn it from Bhagiratif Putra, Ganga's son Gangeya, who's Bheeshma. Next, it is said, Swayamcha Bhagavata. See, while Lord Krishna was in Dwaraka and the Yuddham was over and he was seated with Rukmini and was playing the game of dice, suddenly he started shedding tears. Rukmini asked, why are you shedding tears, Krishna? What happened to you? Krishna said, see, Bheeshma is lying on the bed of arrows. In a few minutes, he will be dying and I see that Atma is getting out. So he started crying because with Bheeshma's departure from this world, wisdom-filled people will not be found that much at all. He is one of the last in that wisdom-filled people, and if he goes away, there will be a scarcity of such people. He says, Sharatalpagato Bhīṣmaha Shamyannivahuta Shanaha Mam Dhyayati Purushavyagra Tato Me Tadgatam Manaha. See, Bheeshma's Atma is leaving his body. Generally, he is thinking of me. But before he thinks, I am thinking of him. Because I am leaving such a great child from this mundane earth. Who will be there to advise people like us? Divyastrani mahateja yodharayati buddhiman sangascha chaturo vedans tasmi manasagataha sahi bhutam bhavishyancha bhavascha bharatarshava tasmin smite bhishmo kauravanam dhurandare jnanan alpi bhavishyanti tasmat tvam chodayamyaham jnanan alpi bhavanti. There will be scarcity of people for wisdom. Ityadau cha yachatvam vakshase Bhīṣma Pāṇḍavāya tu na pritchate veda pravadaivate sthasyanti vasudhatale. So he says, in this Vasudha, in this earth, if Bhīṣma is not there, what will happen? So he says Bhīṣma is one of the persons whom Pandavas have acquired knowledge and who has given us great works. So if Bhīṣma has been praised by two people, one by Sakshat Bhagavan Krishna and by the Lord's Aveshyavatara Vyasacharya, look at how great he must have been. So to prove that, I thought I'll take up a point. I'll take this from VishnuSahasranamam and explain where it comes. Eko naikasavah kakkim yattat padamanuttamam lokabandhur lokanatho madhavo bhaktavatsalah suvarnavarno hemango varangas chandanangadi viraha vishamashunyo ghrita achalaschalah. So here the name is Chalaha. What is the Lord's Nama? Chalaha. What does Chalaha mean? For that, Parāśara gives us a very good anecdote. See, before the Mahabharata Yuddham, Krishna was duty bound to help both Pandavas and Kauravas because his very dear sister Subhadra was married to Arjuna, thereby Arjuna being the son-in-law. He was duty bound to help his daughter and son-in-law. On the other hand, his son Shambha was married to Duryodhana's daughter. So there also he was duty bound. So he said, I will give my entire army to Kauravas, because it was Duryodhana's ask. And then he said, I will give myself to the Pandavas. The moment Shakuni heard about this, he asked Duryodhana to go again and ask for a boon that Krishna will be by the side of Pandavas but will not lift any weapon and fight. He was of the opinion that if Krishna does this promise, then there is no work for him in the battlefield. See, if I have to fight, then I go for a battlefield. I cannot say I'll just go see there, put one chair and see how the Yuddham is happening. No. So if Krishna promises that I will not take or use any weapon, then he doesn't have to go to the war field. This was Shakuni's thought. Krishna promised that I will not lift any weapon. In turn, what he did was, the only work that doesn't use a weapon that will require caliber skill is riding the horses, being a charioteer. I will become the Sarathi for Arjuna. Hearing that Krishna has made a promise that I will not lift any weapon in this Yuddham, Bhīṣmacharya, very prudent and a very prankful devotee, he said, I promise that I will make Krishna lift a weapon in this Yuddham. Krishna says, I promise that I will not lift a weapon. Bhīṣma says, I promise that I will make Krishna lift a weapon. So this was lifting, not lifting. Big news headline it became. Who will win, Krishna or Bhīṣma? So the Yuddham started happening. First day Bhagavad Gita was delivered. Yuddham happened. Second day, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Arjuna was not serious about the Yuddham. He was just playfully using the arrows and hitting at Bhīṣma, and Bhīṣma was retorting. Krishna thought, see, I have left all my work and become his charioteer. This man is taking undue advantage of my volunteering job. So he got really angry. He jumped from the Ratham. And as he jumped from the Ratham, he started walking with anger, Raudram, towards Bhīṣma. There was lying a chariot with a wheel that was detached from it. He lifted that wheel of that broken chariot, swirled it around and held it yadayattam jagat chakram kala chakram cha sashvatam patuvastat param chakram chakrarupasya chakrinaha, and was about to leave. Arjuna came and fell at his feet and said, Krishna, people will speak ill of you. They will say that you made a promise and you have broken. I will take care of Bhīṣma, don't worry. And you know what Bhīṣma in turn did? The moment Krishna lifted that wheel, he dropped all his weapons. He dropped his kavacham and said, I was waiting for this moment, Krishna, the moment I have to be killed by you. So, the beauty is, the Lord had promised that I will not lift a weapon. The devotee Bhīṣma had promised that I will make him lift a weapon. The Lord was ready to forego the promise he had made for making his devotees successful. He lifted the weapon to prove that his devotees mattered to him more than the promise that he has made. So the Lord, here goes the shlokam, tamatta chakram pranadanta muchaihi kruddham mahendra varajam samikshya sarvani bhutani bhrisham vineduhu kshayam kurunam iti chintayitva savasudevaha pragrahita chakraha samvritta yashyanniva jivalokam abdhyutpatan lokagurur babase bhutani dhyakshanniva dhumaketuhu. So here the Lord, who was ready to forego the promise he had made to fulfill the pledge or the vow made by his devotee, okay, is called Chalaha. So the name of the meaning of the name Chalaha in Sahasranamam is who is ready to lose for the sake of his devotee. So dhatuhu pragyatvat pratyanchva dutyadikaradau anapatra pishnuhu prayojadikateya abhakteshvanaham yutaya manaha chittam samunnataihi asyatini mani saha asya nastiti chalaha. So this is the meaning of Chalaha. So what are the characteristic features of VishnuSahasranamam? Mahabharata Saratvat, essence of Mahabharata. Rishibhif Pariganataha has been sung by the Maharishis. Vedacharya Samaharat has been written by Vedavyasa. Bhīṣmot Krishna Matatvataha has been celebrated and composed by Bhīṣmacharya himself. What is the fifth one? Jagat Hitatishayataha. It is meant for the welfare of this world. Please make note of this when I am saying. How is it good for the welfare of this world? Sir, is it good only for Matunga and Chembur in Bombay? Is it good only for JP Nagara and Jayanagara in Bangalore? Only good for Westmambalam and Mylapore in Chennai? No, it is good for the entire world. It is good for Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, all the Middle East countries, Africa, North America. There is no part which will not be benefited by VishnuSahasranamam. We are so liberal. We feel that all the world should survive well. We are not limited only to localities. So, Jagat Hitatishayataha, it is for the welfare of this world. How? So, he says, Parigraho hi sarvabhaumo bhagavan namasahasrasya shāstreshu tavat sarva parvani devo namasahasravan iti bhagavan api namasahasra sambandhena bhushyate. Shri Vishnu dharmecha Shri Gajendra mokshane. In Vishnu Dharma Puranam, in Gajendra Moksha Parva, Sahasra Shubha Namanam Adideva Majam Vibhum iti. So, the one who is celebrated by the 1,000 names is going to protect me, is the shloka. Iti atra chopadvata phala shrutya guna prapancho drakshyate Ayurvedadishu. Please listen to it. Ayurveda is that science in Sanatana Dharma that deals exclusively with what kind of medicines, medicinal herbs should be used, how surgery should be performed. We have Charaka and Sushruta, one of the earliest known physicians and their works that we have. Before that there was Garuda Pandita, many scholars. He says Caraka Saṃhitā, in Caraka Saṃhitā, which is around 100 BCE, around 2100 years, 2050 or 2100 years before. Caraka Saṃhitā says, Vishnum sahasramurdhanam chara charapatim vibhum stuvan nama sahasrena jvaran sarvan vyapohati. All the kinds of fevers, diseases will go away, will get lessened by reciting VishnuSahasranamam. Please make note of this during pandemic. For the welfare of the world, let us all recite. Jvaran sarvan vyapohati iti adyatanecha nana viprakirana mule mehasya prayaschitte jepyahati. So he says japyam hati iti adyatanecha nana viprakirana mule mehasya prayaschitte japyam purusha suktakam. So what he says is, for various urinary problems, people have dialysis, kidney problems, right? For that, VishnuSahasranamam should be recited, it seems. Purusha Suktam ityarabhya tathaiva bhagavan namasahasram bharatodikam yakshmaha tathaiva bhagavan namasahasram parikirtayet. So then he says, for various kinds of respiratory disorders, lung problems, for various kind of lung problems, VishnuSahasranamam used to be recited in those days, it seems. Then, Kavayopidam sarva jivarakshatvena varnayanti yatha. This is a beautiful. Yatha yaha Bāṇabhaṭṭa. Bhattabhanaha is Bāṇabhaṭṭa, who gave us Kadambari. So he describes Sutika Grihavarnane Avichinna Pathyamana Narayana Nama Sahasram. So he describes the maternity ward. There, while describing the maternity ward, he says, Avichinna Pathyamana. There used to be 3-4 people who used to be continuously reciting VishnuSahasranamam for the normal delivery of the child, it seems. Next he says, Iti lokecha grahana dharana shravana japa sankirtana lekhana vyakhyana tishtana pujana prabriti jipir vishaye pishacha vyadi graheshu. For black magic, if people believe in occult and all of that also, Vishnu Sahasranamam is good. Duswapna nirmitadi, if you are getting bad dreams, for that also Vishnu Sahasranamam is the recommended one. And for Navagraha Prāyaśchittam, if you got Graha Dosham, for that also Vishnu Sahasranamam. What is this, sir? For all problems Vishnu Sahasranamam. So it is one mall. You had different shops in those days. Now you have got one place. All things are sold in one place. Mall. Likewise, this is Thirumal. So he is the one who is the repository of all qualities and he will solve all the problems. So then he says for poisons, for demons, he says, He Mahapatakadi Prāyaśchittati Aikiha Mushkikādi Siddhaye Samsara Granthi. I'm just going very fast because many things are there. Vaishnava Parampadaya Vaptaye Tadatvika Bhagavad Guna Sudhasvada Sukhaya Cha Abala Mukha Murka Stri Nastikai. It will also grant phalam for all genders, for all races, for all classes, even for nastikas, even for people who keep saying, I don't believe in God. If they recite even without belief, it will grant belief. It will grant phalam. So he says, Nastikaika bheshajam niratishaya shraddha bhakti vishwasa purvakam pratigrihyate nachaiva vidha parigriha vedanam apitesham murkhaditi apparagrat. So he says this is the panacea for all problems. So this is the fifth quality. Parigrhatishayataha. What is the last one? Gita taikartha kaschanaha. We say the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna is Bhagavad Gita. This Vishnu Sahasranamam is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, it seems. So he says, Bharata Siddhanta Bhuta Bhagavad Gita Narayaniya Yana San. See, Narayaniyam is a work that we know of the 16th century and 17th century by Narayana Bhattadri in Kerala, Guruvayur. But there is a Narayaniyam, a portion called Narayaniyam in Mahabharatam itself. The essence of Bhagavad Gita, Narayaniyam, Viduraniti, Yaksha Prashnam, all of that is there in Vishnu Sahasranamam, it seems. He says, Tatra prageva paurapunyena tatra paratve pareshu pradeshe sesharthani shraniya shravanaan anushtataya svadhayam apruchyate janame jayaya hyatam grahayan swayameva Vaishampayan uvacha. So Vaishampayana out of grace explained this to Janame Jaya, which was in turn sought by Vyasa, which was in turn told by Bhīṣma to Yudhiṣtira. Now, so we have discussed the 6 questions, Kimekam Daivatam Loke, 6 questions, and the 6 answers given by Bhīṣmacharya. We have also discussed the greatness of the 6 qualities in Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. Now I'll have to cover the remaining shlokas. So he says, Yani namani gaunani vikhyatani mahatmanaha. There is a mukhyartham and gaunartham. Mukhyartham is the straight meaning, gaunartham is the secondary meaning. Adi Shankara in his commentary has commented using the meaning of gauna, which is secondary. But Parāśara Bhaṭṭa says gauna also comes from the root word guna, which means all these names describe the Lord's qualities. Yani namani gaudani vikhyatani mahatmanaha rishibhif parigitani. All these names have been recommended by Maharishis. Tani vakshyami bhutaye. Next, Vishnor nama sahasrasya veda vyaso mahan rishihi. So who has said this? Veda Vyasa. Chando nushtup. It is there in the chandas, the format, prosody called as Anushtup. Anushtup will have 8 letters in 4 padas, 4 parts. 8 into 4, 32 letters in every verse. So, Vana, Mali, Gadi, Sharngi, 8. Shankhi, Chakri, Cha, Nanda, Ki, 8. Shriman Narayano Vishnur 8. Vasudevo Bhirakshatu 8. 8 into 4, 32. So it is called Chandonushtup Tatha Devo Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. Whom are we singing about? Devaki's son. Amritam Shudbhavo Bijam. See, I just want to tell you one thing. This VishnuSahasranamam Adhyayam continues. We continue reciting shlokas. But in the Prachina Patham, in the ancient version, Chandonushtup Tatha Devo Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. Only till there we have commentary. Whatever I am going to say after this has been given to us later. So I will just give you the general meaning. Amritam Shudbhavo Bāṇuriti Bijam. Bijam is the seed. For example, there is a procedure to reciting a mantra. So there is a Bijam, Kim Blijam Padamityuktam Shaktistu Bhuvaneshwari Shakta say, right? Here they say, Amritam Shudbhavo Bāṇuriti Bijam. Now, Devaki Nandana Srashteti Shaktihi. What is the Shakti for this mantra? Devaki Nandana, that is Krishna is the Shakti. Trisama Hridayam Tasya. Trisama is the Hridayam, the central portion is Trisama. There is a name of the Lord called Trisama which comes in VishnuSahasranamam. Trisama Hridayam Tasya Shantyarthe Viniyujyate. This is the phalam. Whom are we singing about? Vishnum, Jishnum, Mahavishnum, Prabhavishnum, Maheshwaram. The one who is pervaded everywhere, the one who is the Lord of the Lords, the one who is Antaryami to one. Aneka Rupa Daityantam Namami Purushottamam. Aneka Rupa Daityantam. The one who can bring the annihilation of demons who are antisocial elements to both dharma and to the society. He'll bring an annihilation. Aneka Rupa Daityantam Namami Purushottamam. I celebrate Purushottama, the Lord. Then it is Asya Shri Vishnor Divya Sahasranama Stotra Mahamantrasya. This is the Dhyanam portion or the Sankalpam portion. I have heard some of my acharyas saying that this portion, which is Asya Shri Vishnor Divya Sahasranama Stotra Mahamantrasya Shri Vedavyaso Bhagavan Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha. We do a Sankalpam, right? This portion, it is better that women don't recite. Now don't come fighting and pouncing upon me. Why should women not recite? Aren't we equal? You're all equal. Everybody is equal. But our acharyas have believed certain portions with the stress and the intonation that we give may not be good for the woman's reproductive system. Again comes a counter question. What if I have done my uterus removal operation? What if I have crossed that menstruation stage? What will I do? I don't have answers to any of these. If you want to recite, recite. God is not going to do any harm to us all. He is after all our mother and father. I am just sharing what I know of our Purvacharyas. VishnuSahasranamam can be recited by women. Except this portion, Asya Shri Vishnor Divya Sahasranama Stotra Mahamantrasya, this Sankalpam portion should not be recited, one. And before we begin the Sahasranamam, we say, Harihi. I'm not saying that because that Pranavam should not be said openly. That Pranavam which has Akara, Ukara, Makaram, which is generally called Omkaram, should not be recited again by women. So women should avoid this portion and Harihi. Now you may say again, no sir, great stalwarts in Carnatic music have sung VishnuSahasranamam and they have recited. That is what I am telling. If you want to follow this, follow. Else you are free to recite. From my side, I have no such condition and I am not scaring you. I am just sharing what I know. Asya Shri Vishnor Divya Sahasranama Stotra Mahamantrasya Shri Vedavyaso Bhagavan Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha Shri Mahavishnu Paramatma Shri Man Narayano Devata. Very easily understandable. Whatever I have said before is being told here. Amritam Shudbhavo Bāṇuriti Bijam Devaki Nandana Srashteti Shaktihi Udbhavah Kshobano Deva Iti Paramo Mantraha Shankhabrannandaki Chakriti Kilakam Sharga Dhanva Gadadara Ityastram Rathangapani Rakshobhya Iti Netram Trisama Samagassameti Kavacham Anandam Parabrahmeti Yonihi Rutus Sudarshana Kala Iti Digbandaha Shri Vishwarupa Iti Dhyanam Shri Mahavishnu Prityarte Sahasranama Jape or Parayane Viniyogaha, whatever you are doing, whether you are doing a japam or parayanam, you have to do a sankalpam. Next, dhyanam, you are doing the dhyana shlokam. Kshirodanva, you are describing Vaikuntham. In the beautiful milky ocean is the white-hued Adisesha, which looks like a canopy of pearls, and reclining on which is the Lord, being served by Sri Devi, Bhudevi, and Neela Devi, and served by the Nitya Suris like Ananta, Garuda, and Vishwaksena. Kshirodanva Pradeshe Shushimani Vilasat Saikate Mauktika Nam Mala Klipta Sanasta Spatika Mani Nibhair Mauktikair Manditangaha Shubbrair Abrair Darabrair Upari Virachitair Muktapi Yushavarshaihi Anandina Puniyat Ali Nalina Kada Shankapanir Mukundaha Bhupadau Yasyanabir Vyada Sura Nilas Chandra Suryaucha Netre Karnavasha Shirodyo Mukhamapi Dahano Yasya Vasteyamabdihi Antastham Yasya Vishwam Sura Narakagago. Now, who am I performing dhyanam on? He says, Bhupadau, the Lord's form, where Bhumi, earth is his feet. Yasya Nabihi, so he says, where space, which is Akasham, is the navel. Vyada Sura Nilaha, where Vayu is the breath. Chandra Surya Ucha Netre, where the sun and the moon are his eyes. Karna Vashaha, the directions are his ears. Shirodhyauhu, so when we think of the skies, they become his crown. Mukhamapi Dahano, you have got fire in his mouth. Yasya Vasteyamabdhihi, so you have got the oceans, where we say Yasya Vasteyam Abdhihi, which is near his Nabhi, abdomen. Antastham, so to this Lord, who all form his body, Yasya Vishwam, the entire universe that comprises of Sura, celestials, Nara, humans, Khaga, flying birds, Go, bovine race, cattle, four-legged animals, Bhogi, reptiles, Gandharva, community of people who are engaged in arts, Daityehi, asuras, demons, Chitram Ramyatetam. So with the entire description, if you see, he is looking so picturesque. Nature is in him. Chitram Ramyatetam Tribhuvana Vapusham. The entire world, three worlds, is his Vapu, is his body. Vishnum Isham Namami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which is a Dvadasakshari mantram. Again, you should receive upadesham of it from some acharya. Then again we describe the Lord. Shantakaram bhujagashayanam padmanabham suresham vishwadharam gagana sadrisham meghavarnam shubhangam lakshmikantam kamalanayanam yogi hridyanagamyam vande vishnum bhava bhaya haram sarvalokaikanātham. Shantakaram, the one who is a personification of Shanta Guna. Bhujagashayanam, the one who is reclining on Adisesha. Padmanabham, the one who has got Padma on his Nabhi. Suresham, the one who is a leader of all Suras. Vishwakaram, the one who for whom the entire world is his body. Gagana Sadrisham, the one who is akin to that of the skies. Meghavarnam, the color is that of the clouds. Shubhangam, beautiful limbs. Lakshmi Kantam, the one who is the beloved of Mahalakshmi. Kamala Nayanam, the one who has got eyes like that of a lotus. Yogi Hridyanagamyam, the one who is being worshipped in the hearts of yogis. Vande Vishnum, to that Vishnu I do my offerings. Bhava Bhaya Haram, the one who is able to remove the fear because of samsaram. Sarva Lokaikanātham, the one who is the leader of all the worlds. Meghashyamam Pita Kausheya Vasam Shrivatsankam Kaustubhodbhasitangam, the one who has got the hue of Meghashyamam. It's all repetitive in one way or the other. Pita Kausheya Vasam, the one who sports himself with yellow silk. Shrivatsankam, the one who has got Shrivatsam, which is a mole in the chest. Kaustubhodbhasitangam, the one who has got Kaustubha next to it. Punyopetam Pundarikāyatāksham, the one who has got eyes like that of the lotus. Vishnum Vande Sarvalokaikanātham, Vishnum Vande, to that Vishnu I celebrate. Namas Samasta Bhutanam Adi Bhutaya Bhubrite Aneka Rupa Rupaya Vishnave Prabha Vishnave Sashanka Chakram Sakirita Kundalam. Now he describes the Archavataram, Vibhavavataram. Sakirita Kundalam Sapita Vastram Sarasi Ruhekshanam. So he describes the Lord as Krishna now. Sahara Vakshasthala Shobi Kaustubam Namami Vishnum Shirasa Chaturbhujam. He has got four hands. While Krishna was born, he had four hands. Tamadbhutam Balakam Ambujekshanam Chaturbhujam. So he says, Nama Vishnum Shirasa Chatur Chayayam Parijatasya Hema Simhasanopari. Under the shade of a great Kalpaka tree, Hema Simhasanopari, on a golden throne, Asinamam Bujashyamam Ayatakshamalankritam Chandrananam Chaturbahum, the one who has got the countenance of a resplendent moon. Chaturbahum, the one who has got 4 hands. Chandrananam Chaturbahum Shrivatsankitavakshasam. We have already dealt with Shrivatsam before. The mole. Rukmini Satyabhama Bhyam, the one who has been flanked by Rukmini and Satyabhama. Sahitam Krishnamashraye. To that Krishna I celebrate. So he has started from Paramatma Avikaraya Shuddhaya and landed at Krishna, because Krishna is the avataram in which VishnuSahasranamam is being said. So he offers his salutations, and now Sahasranamam will begin from here on.